And now traditional matchup between some of the best passers in North America and NRG and the counter-attacking masters themselves, Envy, the Machine. But Stumpy, NRG have the stats, but do they have the historical edge in this matchup?
In terms of these two teams, you're going to be looking at the stats table and you're trying to pick out who is the best team out of them generally. NRG, almost all the time, they pip Envy to the post. They beat them in the average score per game, in the goal participation, in shot percentage, in any meaningful stat you look at it, NRG are on top. But then you look at the win rate between these two teams and you see that Envy are the ones that typically come out on top. If they beat NRG here today, it will be the 4th victory in a row versus the General. It's something that NRG are going to have to deal with, but as previous major winners, they're definitely going to be able to.
Previous major winners and a team with a chance of qualifying for the major today. If NRG can win this entire tournament, they will be the first qualifiers from either NA or EU to do so. So a huge statement win potentially for the general NRG. But Envy, we know what they are capable of. NRG will know what they are capable of, but they're having a little bit of defending to do. Our Envy right now, but TurboPulsar will see this one away, and it's a good start for NRG.
I mean, talking of good starts, both these teams have done so well just getting through onto the playoffs place where we anticipate them to end up. Yesterday, we saw NRG take down Space Station Gaming, who looked really strong, 4-2. Every result yesterday was 4-2, but Envy had to go through V1, a matchup that is ultimately not as hard as Space Station Gaming. NRG usually have a rougher time through to these end of tournaments, playing more top 6 teams as well, and this tournament is no different. But this attack from NRG was ruthless.
Well, James mentioned the last time NRG played Envy, their shooting wasn't quite up to scratch, but you can see their speed is there. And also, when you give Justin a chance like that, he is never going to miss. And that'll make it NRG 1, Envy 0, early doors. And I think it's safe to say that goal has been coming. And that's a similar playstyle to how NRG did take down Space Station Gaming yesterday. They didn't push the third man forward too much, but what they did do is push him forward when the time was right, just to turn that screw, really put the pressure on them. And as Garrett said in his interview, dictate the pace. And so far, they are dictating the pace in this series.
It's those small touches that these players on NRG end up making, where Garrett just then in the midfield just managed to get a tiny touch, it sends it over towards the sidewall, and it means that the possession does not fall to Envy. Despite the fact they've got the control now, Squishy will send it long. And one thing that I want to look out for Envy is to also take control of the game. Don't let NRG have control of that pace.
Well, here is Atomic. He's trying to get his team a bit more involved as Garrett G charges in down, but can't get past the second man in missed. And that's really good pressure. The 50-50 at the end. So good at reading them, our Envy. Atomic's coming in for the shot. Saved again. Envy's time for some pressure, though. Missed against Squishy. This one's going to hit the ceiling. TurboPulsar is underneath it. A little bit awkward for him, and he actually took his teammate Atomic out of the game. So NRG will be able to counter, but Mist comes back and makes sure that, if nothing else, NRG can only have a little bit of pressure.
I mean, NRG are not afraid of sending all 3 men to attack one ball either. On the goal line, all 3 just waited and then attacked at the same time to get the ball clear. I think it goes to show just how much they do ultimately trust each other, because even if there is a triple commit, they don't seem worried. They don't seem to be panicked or hurried with any particular play. But now it's a chance for Envy to attack down the other end, and Garrett sending it just past the halfway line. Squishy with a really interesting touch. Over halfway, and NRG still have this lead.
That was brilliant. Not only the save from Garrett G, but to get so much distance on the ball with the pinch off the post to almost set Squishy up for something just shows always looking for each other. The communication is so good from NRG. But MVR coming back into this one. Here's Atomic. TurboPulsar is in the center with him. Garrett G pushes it out wide to the corner now. Is there a fake challenge? No. TurboPulsar manages to go over the top of that challenge. Envy's still going here. Garrett G gets it away, but there's going to be boost management here from Envy. And NRG looking a little bit starved as Atomic shoots, and Garrett G saves again.
Looking starved for the position from NRG, had them all, 2 of them, go to the backboard, and the fact that they could get that save nice and high with low boost is huge. Beautiful tap down, but TurboPulsar, with a low boost, Justin cannot get it past the young kid.
You absolutely have to score there if you're TurboPulsar, but still, credit to Justin for making himself as tall as he possibly could to get that block. It really should be 1-1 right now, but it remains 1-0 to NRG with Envy barreling down on this door. Maybe a touch for Turbo, but he just misses. Now Mist up the top, trying to slow things down again. It's not really working for Envy, and they can't get their breakthrough.
There's a really nice position from Squishy on that sidewall where he faked to go low, and so therefore Miss had to go high, but then Squishy ends up going high with low boost and was able to do so. Brilliant touchdown though from Turbo Pulsar. Will be gifting the ball over to Atomic for Envy's first goal.
Much better finish than the one we saw earlier, and what a pass that was from Turbo, finding Atomic ideally. But that finish wasn't easy at all. Had to go across the goalkeeper to get it into that top corner. 54 seconds left, it's 1-1.
Yeah, there's nice positioning from Atomic as well to give Turbo those options, and nipping in front of the defender, let that play happen. Good idea from Turbo, and it ends up a goal too. Justin getting the bump on Turbo. A couple of physical players coming out against his old teammate, and a good boost grab from Atomic means that he can continue this play.
He's going to carry on going as well. Squishy sends it high, missed, and Squishy then in the end are going to race for it. And Squishy wins out towards Garrett. Now, Turbo Pulse is underneath this one, but Justin's already pre-jumping. We know that NRG have got some absolutely filthy pre-jumps in them this weekend.
Yeah.
That one didn't quite work out as well as the one did yesterday, but you can see them still trying it, and they'll try and score from this as well. Just into the ceiling. It's awkward defending. Turbo Pulsar needs Mist to help him, and Mist does. And now maybe a chance to counter for Envy. Can they win it at the death? Squishy puts it onto his own crossbar. Not the best save he'll ever do, but it has worked out for them with a few seconds left.
A gasp of air, surely leaving the mouths of NRG with that save, but as Justin touches it to the floor, Squishy shot won't go in on his own end, and overtime and game number 1 between these two titans begins.
Atomic leaves that one for his teammate Turbo Pulsar to take a quick shot, just to put NRG on the back foot from the off there, but they transition out of defense so well. So tough to keep them pinned. That's what Envy were doing earlier, desperate to do so again, but with Justin charging in, they won't be able to here. Here comes Squishy, opts to go to the backboard this time. And Atomic, I think, was happy about that. He had a decent position on that backboard. But it's NRG now. They're starting this overtime, Stumpy, the way they started the original game.
Yeah, it's suddenly being given a lot more space than Envy were giving them in the main body of game number 1. So this overtime is going the way that NRG want it to. That pass from Squishy does go a little bit too far out, but Justin, the free hit off that sidewall, sends it just over the top corner. Squishy does end up intercepting Justin. With that mid-boost grab not successful, Garrett has to come in, shoots, Turbo Pulsar blocking it from top corner.
That attack just seemed to slow down when there were 2 NRG players trapped in the opposite corner. They couldn't really commit that third man too much, and that meant that Envy could get it away. And that's where we are now. As Garrett clears towards Turbo Pulsar, who tries to set up Miss. It's actually a really nice pass, meaning Miss can get himself 100 boost as well. But NRG are closing Envy down so quickly. They know they're good at countering, but they're still putting the pressure on them. But what a read that was from Justin.
That is so proactive from Justin to move out of his goal line to save that shot, because he knows the closer he gets, the bigger his car looks. Squishy going for a dribble. Garrett G to accept it. Justin shot on target, but Atomic nestled within that left post can save it away. Those little bursts of attack from NRG, that looks to be where goals are going to be coming from.
Yeah, but it was brilliant defending there from Envy. 1 versus 3, and still somehow the machine holds out. Where's Justin falling onto this ball? No, I saw him on the ceiling for a second and thought that something spicy might have just been being warmed up, but not quite to be on that occasion. Turbo, though, is bumping Justin in goal. So Squishy really has to slow this down to allow his teammate to get out. Turbo Pulsar is speeding him up. Envy maybe just starting to get back on top in this one. 2 minutes gone in overtime. It's going quick as well.
So many passes coming in from both teams too. They know that solo plays are rarely going to get past any of the incredible attackers and defenders on both teams, and so team plays are utterly essential. With Turbo Pulsar missing that shot, Justin attempted to shadow it on that backboard, and Squishy, reversing backwards and forwards, eventually gets a touch to the ball. Yeah, 2.5 minutes off the clock. Neither team are looking to have set themselves apart just yet.
Just waiting for that third man to push forward a little bit more, to be brave in this overtime. They both had chances to really turn that screw and not quite taken them yet. Envy there had NRG pretty much pinned and boost starved. Wait a minute, there's a miss there from Turbo Pulsar.
That was calculated.
Yeah, I saw a miss behind him there, and I thought, tell me he's going to get this ball, and he did.
Yeah, brilliant communication in the end. To manage to trust your teammate in that situation is obviously what these guys have to do, but seeing it in practice is almost like a trust fall.
And Turbo up against Squishy. Squishy clears it again and is chasing this one down. Could be a chance for a clean touch. It's not quite, and Atomic actually then gets the 50-50 after his first touch as well. So good midfield play from him, but Garrett does emerge with the ball, misses his flip reset, and it almost works out perfectly. Turns into an assist almost for Squishy as well. Garrett is surely going to pass this one. No, he just sends it down the line, and Miss can sweep up.
I've seen Squishy going for a lot of passes, and I praised him a minute ago, but He sent it towards Justin, who was already rotating back. I think Squishy's becoming a little bit one track with what he's attempting to do. If there's a few times where he can go for the shot, that's more likely to catch Envy off guard now because they're expecting the pass. Like Justin there, Mist had to cover both angles.
Well, Squishy scored an exquisite triple tap yesterday in overtime, but he's got some defending to do here. Here's Justin out wide. But to the side, what I was going to say was he does have prior in this regional of scoring some wonder goals in overtime. So will he give himself the chance by going solo one or two times more often than we're seeing so far? Won't be able to yet because his team are just camped back on the orange goal line. Justin does really well to get past one challenge, but Turbopulsar then wins it cleanly. Does he get the dunk on Squishy? He doesn't. Now Squishy does have a chance to go solo. Goes towards the corner. Atomic up against Squishy. Wants a 50-50 to roll a little bit more central than it did. Missed up against Gara. This one is... I'm still feeling that neither team is really just committed to any of these attacks at the moment.
I think this will be the tightest game we'll see. This is so cagey, and Squishy sending it to Garrett. Can't get a shot off, but Squishy demolishing. Mist will open up that backline. Justin in to commit. Passes to Garrett again, but Atomic with a block. And with only... Sorry, we're approaching 5 minutes in this game in overtime. And as I said, I think this game will be the tightest. And as soon as whoever wins this wins it, it's going to be all-out blood war.
Yeah, we yet to really see things open up, but it's a good overtime to watch as well. Turbo onto the backboard, almost Devo-esque from all the way back in Season 5 there. But wait a minute, Garrett G and Squishy beating Atomic for pace, and this could now be a chance for NRG. Squishy pushes it towards the goal, and then Turbo, look at that defending. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. Staying behind the ball the whole way in that Dominus. Good play from him, and then there's another miscommunication in the corner. We've seen a few of those from both teams.
But none of those issues, the defensive problems, have led to any goals. The shielding from both teams has been exquisite, quite frankly. But Justin ends up with the ball flopping flatly in front of the goal mouth, and Mist is in a brilliant position to take it. That third man moving up really close, and Justin staying utterly static in front of the goal mouth will give Mist the game for Envy.
A hard-fought game one for Envy. Whenever it's 5 minutes and 26 seconds of overtime, you know that it is nothing but hard-fought. So they worked hard to get that one. But it was, in the end, a win that they didn't not deserve to get. I don't think either team, should have been runaway winner there, but both of them had a shout that it was theirs to win.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those situations where you can imagine an error that came in a little bit earlier on, that would have been the decider, And there were errors that came in, but quite frankly, just those defensive efforts from both teams managed to keep the goals safe every single time. And I like seeing those attacks being varied from both sides as well. Something that I think they need to do in the future is commit that third man more. Cole, sorry, what are you? It's Halloween. We've got costumes. What are you?
I'm the, hopefully you can hear me. I'm the Pumpkin King.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you look really good. Yeah, the Haunted Hallows Pumpkin.
What are you, pal?
I'm that, the Psionics terms of service that you didn't sign. Oh, you didn't read me. No, I'm actually just a cat. I'm a cat. I'm a cat man. Look at me go.
I'm not the Pumpkin King. I'm just a pumpkin.
So. You are generic pumpkin man.
Yeah, just a pumpkin man. My little stalk fell off.
We've both gone for the face paint today, which I like. The other guys did not decide to go for face paint, so we've really committed.
Yeah, well, good to commit. Good to commit, Stumpy Goblin. And Envy will be committing to getting themselves 2-0 up in this series after that first game that they managed to take. It's nice to have the helmet off. I feel much more comfortable now.
Yeah, you sounded different in there for some reason. Were you casting with that helmet the entire time?
Oh, yeah, of course I was. I had to be committed to the bit.
Naturally.
Here's Mist on the side, going down from the ceiling. Atomic is coming in. Squishy's just waiting for that boost. They have to have such faith in their mathematics that they saw when the boost was taken, and they know when those seconds are ticking away and it's about to spawn. It always terrifies me, though, when a player is camped on the boost hill.
Turbopulsar to receive a ball from Atomic, and as Mist starts to rotate back round, Squishy is left a little bit of air, and to me it seems like now both teams look a bit more panicked. I saw Justin earlier going for a ball that I don't think was his. I saw Mist going for a shot, and then he just backflips himself out of the way. But Turbo, he's going to remain ever truthful to himself and just hit it hard at the net.
I feel like if there's any team that you do not want to become panicked and hurried against, it's Envy, because they are so good at feeling the shape of the match, knowing when to strike in that situation, and NRG, since the start of the season, they have had one or two occasions where they have looked a little bit shaky. You looked at the finals against FaZe Clan in the first regional, and they were just a little bit off pretty much throughout for various reasons. So the fact that here, they're just starting to look a little bit rushed again doesn't bode well for them, in my opinion.
Squishy securing that 2v1 50-50, and the ball does manage to pop out in favor of NRG. Garrett to Squishy, back to Garrett, but Turbo Pulsar still reckons he's on the team and gets the pass instead.
Big clearance from Atomic to Turbo, who was trying to get in there ahead of Garrett G and was so close. Garrett just had to hold his nerve to get half a touch away, but still it's good play from Envy, and that fake is going to take out Justin for a split second. It's slow from Squishy as well, or at least it was made to look slow by the speed of Atomic. Now Turbo Pulsar trying to win his own personal race. Envy winning races up and down the pitch right now. Have they got themselves a double tap opportunity? No, they haven't, but they don't need it because Atomic is underneath the ball and Atomic scores.
Brilliant touch from Mist to get this ball high, and because he goes for that double, Squishy has to respect it. Atomic instead receives the call that Mist is not going to get to it, and whilst Garrett G can touch his nose on the end of it, the mic drops and Envy, game 2, get the first goal.
How's this kickoff looking for these teams? Nothing particularly comes of it. But Justin does get a chance from the side in a second. He goes solo. He gets it almost all the way in. Atomic was the last line of defense there for Envy. Justin, just a little bit of a reminder, in case anybody out there forgot, of what he is capable of with that solo play. Now it's Garrett's turn. He just goes for the shot, just trying to stretch Envy a little bit, because so far they haven't done that anywhere near enough in game 2.
Yeah, I think that Envy have sort of become a little bit more comfortable in their own goal line, because Squishy there with 0 boost isn't much of a threat. But look still at all 3 players of Envy sitting fully back. Justin can spy Squishy midfield, isn't able to get the ball to him. But Envy, all 3 players back, and they don't seem to be too fussed about it. NRG not taking the initiative to go for really punishing shots.
Envy won't get involved in a battle of ego where they're trying to outpace their opponents. They will happily sit on a 1-goal lead, frustrating their enemy for as long as they need to do it. But NRG are getting closer. Maybe this is the point where Envy need to push on just a little bit more and take a risk or two to get away from their own half, especially with these misses coming in. Turbo is the hero Envy needed, but maybe not for long. Justin shoots. There's Atomic. Garrett G wants to keep this attack going. This is much better for NRG. They've pushed themselves in this one, and here is Garrett. Does he get the flip reset or the dunk? In the end, it's neither, but it's Squishy's turn now.
7 shots have peppered the net of Envy so far, and yet none of them have found their way in. Envy's defense has been so impossible to penetrate at this point, and it's something that NRG are going to need to do a lot better shots towards to actually try and break through.
This one's going to fall for Mist. Sends it out wide for himself. He's got Turbo Pulsar in the middle. Garrett's just trying to close him down. Actually gets a really good pass towards Justin, who quickly turns, sets up Squishy. This is a chance for NRG. Squishy with the double. He almost gets it in, then he almost gets in his teammate's way. To the extent, I think it just slowed Garrett down for a split second, closing the angle all the time. Another shot comes in. Mist and Turbo Pulsar on the goal line. And then what a catch by Mist. That just buys Envy so much time. And with 45 seconds left, NRG do not have too much to spare, especially if this is saved by Atomic, I think it was. It is. Turbo's going to catch and dribble and take away. And Envy are just formidable in defense.
Justin's going to try and break through. Instead, will break Turbo Pulsar in half. With Atomic down this right wing, Squishy has to clear it past him. Does so, has to go midfield for it. Garrett G up and uncontested. On for the double. With Turbo Pulsar from the backboard. The battle of egos so far is going the way of Envy, as they have not entered that orange half offensively for a very long time. Look at them just try and fake for the ball and then head back to their own half. Outstanding game management from Envy.
But that was a really nice dunk there by Squishy at the end of his dribble. Garrett G pushes it forward one more time. Will there be one more chance? That bump will help, but the touch from Justin isn't where the ball needed to go, from NRG's perspective at least. And Envy, the machine, take a 2-game lead.
That was just near perfect defending, I feel, from Envy. They managed to put on so many shots that came on their net. Sure, they weren't the most threatening thing in the world. And even if they were double committing, either Envy got themselves back into a brilliant position to deal with it, or NRG just weren't putting on shots that were going to really push the Envy defense into a shambles. I love seeing what Envy did just then.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think that if you were to If you were to sum up Envy versus NRG historically, that game would sum it up beautifully because NRG had more shots. They had more pressure. They looked more likely to score the next goal. And yet, what was the score in the end? It was an Envy win, and it was 1-0 as well. For a counter-attacking team to win 1-0, there's nothing better if you're Envy than that sort of game.
NRG shots, though, they need to be better quality. Like, we saw Squishy go for one that was nearly incredible. And it's a shame that his shot, he either couldn't work himself back round off the backboard, then tap it in, or he just about touched it out the way of Justin, and Garrett was caught utterly by surprise, being the third man suddenly taking a shot. But moments like that need to be committed on more, or at least they need to be followed up with more chances. And to get those boost steals, really basic things, make sure that if you're going to be wearing out Envy, wear them out with the boost too. Make it so then they can't go high on the shots. Keep going high with the ball, keep it out their reach. But Justin, with a car change to something quite interesting, NRG looking to need to turn the tides. Otherwise, the desk, shockingly, may well be wrong again.
And Twitch chat as well. 74% of people said that NRG were going to win this series, and it's not looking certainly like their favourites at the moment. Let's just say that as Turbo Pulsar shoots and almost gets it over the top of Squishy. Here's Atomic, one touch over the top of himself. There's a demo from Turbo on Squishy. I heard that boom and my eyes was thinking, is this an attacking demo or a defensive one? It was attacking, which is putting NRG in all sorts of trouble. Squishy, though, stayed so patient there in goal. And got his rewards for now. Atomic, though, with a flip reset and a stall there. And it's almost gone in, Justin defending this time. But look at Envy go.
Envy feeling hotter than ever, and the attack immediately is forming for them. NRG are put on their back foot so fast, and you know, Twitch chat, the desk, if they predicted NRG against any other top 6 team, they would be correct, right? They've got such an incredible win record in series versus other top 6 teams. I think it's 85% or something like that. Envy, they are the ones that really buck the trend. They suffer when they come up together. And Envy, they normally take that #1 spot against what is, from what most people would consider, the best team in North America. They're a boogie team.
Ooh, that one just for a second looked like it was going over the top of Garrett, who ends up in his own goal after saving that one. Misses a chance to shoot. Is it completely open? No, there's a Justin there. So the shot had to be perfect. It almost was. Here's Atomic. He's got the flip reset. Dodges backwards instead of forwards. Now there's a counter. Garrett, is he going to score? And NRG have given Envy a taste of their own medicine with the counter attack.
I just need to correct a stat I said earlier. It's not 85% they've got against other top 6 teams. That's a different one. It's 36% against other top 6 teams. But it's still a very, very good win percentage, right? And NRG going ahead in this game, that is going to be them trying to switch it round versus Envy, who typically have their number.
Well, now we can see if NRG can show their own game management. This is a team that, when they have a lead, are also, as with Envy, all too happy to sit on it if that's what is called for. Adaptability is what Garrett G was talking about in his interview yesterday, and NRG really need to show some of that now, because up to this game, it's not really been working for them too well this series. Mist is going to try and get Envy back on terms with another flip reset. They're really starting to open up in the mechanical plays, are Envy. Turbo up against Justin. That ball's going to fall, I believe, to Mist. Yes, it is. He puts it into the center. Atomic was pre-jumping, as was Squishy. All sorts of cars buzzing about the place, but the goal explosion is blue.
With that ball dropping down from Atomic, Mist just had to wait as Squishy and Justin both together on the backboard, nobody actually covering the low goal. Then where do you shoot as Mist? Probably as low as you possibly can. Gets it above both players that attempt to block the shot going in. An utter defensive misplay from NRG, and Envy bringing themselves level.
Need to do it all over again to NRG, but not like that, because Atomic is going to beat his opponent to the ball here, up against Garrett this time. Now there's Mist. He's got Turbo Pulsar in the center. Does he go for the pass or the shot? In the end, a little bit sluggish on both, so Garrett G can more than happily come in and set NRG going. Could it be their turn for a little bit of pressure? Garrett up against Turbo Pulsar. Mist is flying in, and just look at the huge clearances that Envy are having. They're having so many clean touches in their own half and in the NRG half, and it's really making it tough for NRG to keep anything consistent going.
It's the clean touches, yeah, but then it comes down to what can you do with it afterwards. I mean, it's ultimately been quite a low-scoring series so far. Turbo trying to go for the bump on Justin. Atomic trying to fake out Garrett to bring it in. But we're approaching 90 seconds remaining, and NRG really are not playing up to the caliber that we would expect. And Envy, I don't think they are either, but equally they are doing a much better job and they're still showing their shape that they like to play in. NRG basically are not controlling the game how they would usually like to, and the touches not nearly clean enough.
Well, here's Squishy. This was a clean touch and it's a shot, but Mist is there for the save. Justin ramps one up again. Gets the flip reset, still going. Wants at least a 50-50 at the end of this. But look how patiently Envy are defending. They knew exactly what Justin wanted. It does still almost walk out.
No!
Oh no, but Garrett G saves his own teammate's shot, and NRG can't take the lead.
I honestly felt that. I felt as soon as Garrett got that pass, he was falling in the way of the goal. And you know that's exactly where they're going to be shooting, obviously. We're going to have a quick pause here, make sure that all the players are happy and okay with what's going on. Hopefully not Garrett saying, oh, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to block my own shot. Let's have that goal instead. So just making sure that everybody is good and happy. But otherwise, I said it, but NRG really don't feel like the team that I would normally expect them to look like. I don't know. I don't want to be harsh to them because ultimately they're in the semis. They look great yesterday. But Envy, as ever, just have their number.
They do, but I think that you're not always going to win beautifully. No team in the history of anything ever has played every single series, every single match to the best of their own personal ability. What separates champions such as NRG, and that's how they will see themselves, is the ability to win when things are not working. So this is going to be a huge learning curve for NRG. Can they get past Envy on a day where Envy are straight up playing better right now? They look a little bit better mechanically. They look like they have better control of the game. They're defending astronomically well, okay? But this is where NRG just still have to find some way to win. And this third game has started better in that regard because they did at least give themselves a lead. They managed to bundle the ball home in such a way, it was from defending themselves and it just rolled in. So it's not like a classic NRG goal, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is getting yourself on the score sheet. And they were so close to doing it again with that Garrett G save that we've just seen as well, the own save. So they are doing something right in this game. It's not beautiful, but at least it's a start.
I do think, though, that Envy, like you said, just look like the better team. And when it comes down to how NRG are playing them, NRG looks so frustrated. Justin going for a couple of mechanical plays in the air, and yet they just wait. Mist and Atomic were just sitting like one on backboard, one in the goal, just like, okay, there's one, there's two flip resets, okay, and now I've got the ball, so I'll just go to the corner, I suppose, and take it away from here. NRG are not having Envy fall into their traps.
And look at them as well.
I think that's really getting to them.
Look at them as well. They're chuckling, they're laughing, they're having a good time. They are really feeling themselves this series. I'd say that each player is so involved with the play. Turbopulsar, he's beating his opponent to the ball pretty often. He looks speedy on this pitch, does Turbopulsar. And of course, most of the mechanical heavy lifting comes down to Mist and Atomic, and they're going for double flip resets, they're going for stalls, they are just trying, they're incredibly comfortable expressing themselves against a team in NRG, which is normally so good themselves at defending. I think for NRG, they're taking this time just to relax, have themselves a free breather, essentially, and go back into this one refreshed, rather than G themselves up. That's not really what's needed, in my opinion, here.
Yeah, we're just making sure that Justin is happy to continue. He's had a couple of issues, unfortunately, across the last weekend with sort of internet outages or power outages, whatever it ends up being. So all the players on Envy as well are saying, you good? Making sure that he's happy, all of his teammates and the admins make sure Justin's happy, which I love to see. The fact that Turbopulsar a second ago in chat just asked, all good? You good, Justin? And they're having a nice chat. It's so nice to see. All these guys are obviously friends, former teammates. So we're looking to start the game up as soon as we can. Justin has, I think, confirmed that he is okay to continue. We're going to be going from 1 minute and 4 seconds, 1-1 on the kickoff. No goals were scored that we're going to have to disallow or anything like that. Just give them a couple more seconds to get themselves back into play. And as we start this game up again, Cole, with a minute remaining, my money's still on Envy here because they've looked better in the gameplay.
I back NRG to somehow use this to their advantage. It's frustrating for Justin that he disconnected, but they have to try and see that as a positive, a chance to give themselves a mental break and get going again and show Envy and the rest of us what they're capable of. And straight away, they're doing it now. Garrett G with a clean challenge right on the Envy goal line. NRG playing with this ball in the blue half. This is what they've been so desperate to do throughout. Saves have been coming in, but can they find a way to break through this Envy defense?
I mean, immediately off kickoff, NRG wanting to grab control of the game by the horns. But Envy have managed to resist it so far. Squishy going underneath Mist, leaves the ball to fall to Turbo Pulsar. And Squishy will be smashing him out of existence. With Atomic going for an awkward jump. Justin up for the shot. Crossbar with the assist.
Yeah, that was really tough there from Atomic. He sort of pre-jumped this from Garrett G. So when Garrett G just stayed low, Atomic did his best to do something decent with the clearance, but Justin is way too clever, too good at reading those 50-50s are NRG. And finally, 18 seconds left. Maybe NRG can give themselves a foothold, but there's a fake kickoff there from Envy. Are they trying a play? If they were, it's not quite worked. They do at least have ball control.
Final 10 seconds sees Envy on the offensive now. Missed to go high, but Squishy on his old favoured backboard will find Justin on that right wall as the ball continues to fly down the pitch. Atomic to send it high. Missed.
He's got this.
Can be out one. Squishy is awkward on the backboard, but as the pass comes into Turbo, just falls short. NRG securing one game in this series, 2 for Envy, and game number 4 is going to be a big one.
There was just one touch too many there from Mist. Off the ceiling, he got a second one, and it just completely stopped the ball dead and lowered it. It was like when you're playing Rumble and it turns to ice, and suddenly everyone misses by about 30 yards because we can't predict it. It was a little bit like that with that second touch. And that stopped any chance of that Envy attack. It still almost fell for Turbo Pulsar at the end, but NRG, one way or another, they got their win, and suddenly, Stumpy, this series is alive and well. They desperately needed that game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a point where they've changed it from it going to the final minute and one goal could give Envy the 3-0 lead in the series. And the second reverse sweep may well have been on the cards that NRG would have had to have secured after one happening. I believe yesterday it was. I cannot remember the teams were, was it Alki this morning versus another one of the, I shouldn't have started this point if I didn't know the teams really.
You shouldn't have, no.
Alki versus the team that they are against.
There you go, that's it. That's the answer. Alki versus the team that they were against.
I need someone to tell me what it was, and I'm going to shout it out in the middle of this game. But that was the first ever reverse sweep in the best of 7 that we have had, basically, in the RLCS 21-22 season. NRG, thankfully, don't need to do that, is my very long-winded point.
Wow, that is a brilliant point. Well made, Stumpy Goblin. And the series continues with NRG giving themselves something to play against.
I was wrong. It was not Alki at all. It was Azure Esports reverse with Asia Manji.
There you go.
I was wrong on both teams, but I believe I was correct in the region, and that will do.
Yeah, you tried, and that's what matters. And Envy are trying to give themselves, 3 match points here. It's a huge game again after NRG survived the last big one. Can they do so again? Envy trying to get themselves a lead early doors. His Turbo Pulsar up against Squishy. The ball just squeezes out to the side where Atomic can take control. This is where he's so dangerous. Look at the speed there. Beating Justin all ends up. Turbo and Garrett G into the middle. Now his Mist wants to go to the backboard, but Squishy correctly is covering that, and a good demo from Garrett G will allow Squishy to dribble out.
Oh, having that space from Squishy as well, a lot more could have been done with it. But as Turbo sends it wide, Squishy then on his rotation back, it's going to be heading. I like that Squishy at the moment is rocking the Stocktane, but also flexing that alpha boost as well. So many card changes coming in this series so far. NRG really on that placebo wagon.
Yeah, well, they need to get something, just get something going for themselves to NRG, whatever it takes. And apparently changing cards does seem to be working, because since Justin changed his, it's that little yellow and purple Mamba. They got the win. Here's Atomic, and Atomic scores, though. The ball just fell for him.
Huge amount of space granted, as well as Justin goes into the net and Squishy to the backboard. We see these guys here so frequently, and Justin, he probably should have committed on that ball a lot earlier, because he had time to get in net, go back, and then move forwards. Squishy was covering the high. Justin's job is to cover the low there.
Yeah, I feel like NRG were boost starved, but you still could have sent a man over just to try and get some sort of block on Envy. When Atomic is charging down like that, he's never ever going to miss. It does give Envy their lead, but NRG will come right back. Here's Justin getting a couple of touches. Atomic closes him down fast. Garrett G and Squishy just trying to pull rank over each other to see who goes for that ball, and it's Garrett G that does so in the end. As far as Justin, this is what NRG have been doing very well, even when they've been struggling this series, getting the ball into blue territory. But Atomic is double flip resetting all the way down there. Turbo Pulsar has a chance to shoot into the top corner, and Justin, the meanie, keeps it out.
What a gorgeous setup that was from Atomic. Having the space to secure a double flip reset and the skill to boot is next level. Envy feeling it yet again. Squishy having to make another reach across save, as this pressure is only going to continue building.
Until a huge clearance comes in and a good bump from Garrett G. Let's Justin get a clean shot, but Mist is sending it straight back. Look how good those passes are from Envy to get themselves out of defense on the rare occasion in this game. NRG are forcing them there. This has been Envy's to lose, but a huge shot might be the key to unlocking their defense. Not quite there, it was well saved. A good pass again from Justin to Squishy, trying to use the infield. The second man far forward for NRG now that they have license to do so. But it's Envy that are probably looking more likely for this second goal, just with the 1 or 2 chances they'll have.
Oh, Atomic didn't want to commit up for that ball, but if he did, then I'm sure that would have been 2-0. Garrett just having such a presence in the middle of that orange net that he didn't even want to fancy going for it. But Turbopulsar keeps that ball from rolling into the blue half. Mist attempts to get a touch from the ceiling. 1 minute 45, Envy still with this lead, and we know how much they like to protect that 1-0 lead like a dragon with its hoard of gold.
Yeah, you wouldn't bet against this one finishing 1-0, I think. It's a very safe thing to predict. The NRG, of course, have so much skill. Can break through Envy at any second, just need to do so, but here's Mist on the ball. Garrett G closed him down. Can he get this boost as well? He can, but the pinch from Turbo towards Mist as well is absolutely brilliant. We'll send Envy on their way. Turbo, does he fake that one on purpose for Atomic?
I never want to play that game with Turbo because I'm normally wrong.
That's fair, yeah, you can't be confident either way there.
No.
1 minute and 10 seconds left, NRG need a goal.
Desperately as well, as Turbo also shuts down NRG again, and he's up early. Can get that past Central. Squishy again, the man back to attempt the clear. I really enjoyed seeing Squishy's defense in this series. I just think there's so much more that can be done from his 2 teammates.
Well, here is Squishy, but he's beaten by Turbo again. Garrett G catches it. How much can he do with the boost that he has? Not too much on this occasion. NRG, job 1 is to get back to the blue territory. They've done that now. Here is Squishy with the snapshot.
Oh!
Atomic gets half a save, but Garrett G bundles it in.
Just forces that through across the goalkeeper. Squishy with the hook shot, slamming it high. And Garrett with that attack forces the ball to squeeze in below the crossbar. 38 seconds, NRG draw themselves level again, and it seems very similar to the style of game that we had in game number 1.
Yeah, so the difference is they've actually managed to get themselves the goal that they needed, which they were struggling with so much earlier in this series. NRG have started scoring goals. That's dangerous for Envy. This is dangerous for Envy too as well, with Turbopulsar missing that second touch and Justin coming in, getting a couple more. His first touch into the corner wasn't really the best. And Turbo just leaves that one for Garrett to send back to his own half. Now it's Atomic up against Garrett again. Mist sends it high. That could go to anybody. It's Turbo that's charging forward so quickly again. Does Atomic have any boost? No, he doesn't. He was so desperate to go to that ball. With 0 seconds approaching, we are heading to the second overtime of the series.
Previously, this overtime fell to Envy. And as Mist finds the ball to Atomic, they want that history to repeat itself. A very optimistic pre-jump from Mist with 40 boost. But the double commit from Turbo and Mist. So Turbo and Atomic leaves Squishy to pass to Garrett. So Garrett to Justin. But Turbo not being able to quite get that touch. Justin go off the backboard. Squeezes it away from Justin. You can't then get that second shot. Messy play from both teams. No goals flying in.
Garrett G, though, can take control of the ball himself here. He goes high to the ceiling. Maybe could have stuck that one to his bonnet a little bit more, gone for a bit more of a traditional air dribble in that situation with the amount of boost that he has. But it does eventually fall to Squishy, who gets a second touch as well. There's the chance for Justin up against Atomic. Atomic is there onto the backboard, interweaving these defensive touches until Mist can send it away. But it's NRG on top, early doors in the overtime.
Vital defensive play there from Atomic, and a poor touch from Turbo leaves Mist to try and sweep his way in. With Turbo versus old teammate Justin, a flick is on target, but Justin sends it even further away.
Atomic was somewhat in his teammate's way there, or maybe it was the ball side rotation that got him in trouble, but could have been a slightly awkward moment for Envy. They do manage to get it away, though, and into the opposite corner where Justin just fake challenges against Mist, lets him pass it straight to him. Brilliant defending there. Those little moments are exactly what NRG needs, just to stop Envy getting into their flow. And Turbo's having a few stray touches as well, if you notice. In the centre, he's trying to link the play, but every now and then going a little bit wayward and almost letting NRG in.
Justin up for 1, the double. Not quite on target, though, as Atomic had a chance to go for a long shot will be sending it wide as Squishy, again, the man back to save the skin of NRG. Garrett with one touch, can't get it past Turbo Pulsar, and so Atomic has to get it central. Absolutely rockets that ball supersonically in front of the goal mouth of NRG.
Squishy slows things down. Gets behind the ball as well, but Turbo has just been charging around so bravely up against NRG, is desperate not to let them get control of it in any way, shape, or form. Here's missed. Squishy with a 50-50 in that corner. Garrett G comes in, and that's actually a really good pass. For a second, I thought that maybe that was a little bit loose, but Garrett G knew what he was doing, and NRG could clear.
Atomic on this left wall. Let's try and get it past Justin. Justin, though, with a great touch onto the sidewall. Garrett could have received, instead goes for a long shot and will push that possession down into the half of blue. Squishy, 4 touch in the corner, leaves all floating for Turbo Pulsar. Atomic to the ceiling, missed down. Garrett getting his axle onto that ball to save it away. Over 2.5 minutes has gone in this overtime. And as it goes on longer, NRG will be remembering that Envy won the previous OT.
Oh, lovely idea there from Turbo Pulsar to keep the pass low. Just to mix things up. That's what we want to see with a longer overtime like this. Something to just shake things. There's Squishy sending it long into the corner. Atomic beat Squishy to the ball and missed Turbo and Atomic. All 3 of them there in that corner, so probably won't be too much from this attack, but Envy do have one.
There's a very neat little touch there from Atomic too. Knew he didn't have to go too far with it, and so just with a small touch can also regain control and very high onto that backboard. Great pinch away. Atomic he must have the highest speed in this game so far. I swear I've not seen that man let go of his boost button this entire overtime.
And yet they still seem so controlled to Envy. But NRG are breaking it down. Squishy just trying to wrap his car around the ball and send it back across the goal.
Missed waiting again. That is so patient.
Yeah, they're not indulging NRG in these 50-50 challenges on their own goal line. It's immense discipline that Envy are showing. But NRG as well as staying patient. They're not getting frustrated and sending the third man too far forward. They know their chance will eventually come. They can just hold Envy out. Justin sends it back into the center where Turbo Pulsar is lingering and waiting. Atomic on the orange backboard. Just drives by, just seeing what's going on over on NRG territory. And now NRG can break free. Garrett's desperate for this ball and he gets it. What can he do with it?
I love that idea from Mist to go for the faked first touch, then roll over his shoulder. Couldn't quite get the angle though, then Garrett on his play got demoed, so it does reset after that phase. But it was a nice idea from Mist to just try and change the pace of the game a little bit, because right now, or for the entire 4.5 minutes, it's been frantic. But with Squishy going for a flick and Justin to receive the pass, all 3 players of Envy repeatedly find themselves in such close proximity that one pass finds one, missed high. Turbo Pulsar to go lower. Justin with a backflip on the goal line to keep it even.
There was a save from Justin on Turbo Pulsar earlier where I criticized Turbo Pulsar. I will not criticize him there. That was just pure brilliance from Justin to somehow keep that ball out when it did seem like this overtime was about to end ahead of the 5-minute mark, which we have now reached as Squishy takes a second touch, missed over to the backboard. Justin has to just keep track of this ball and get the second touch as well. Justin with a chance for the counter. Garrett G turns away from the ball. I really think Garrett could have won it there if he'd have carried on going forwards.
I would have loved Justin to keep that ball high and then Garrett to see that he was on for the play to then send it in. I completely agree. Could have been over, but NRG not quite with the wherewithal to secure it in just over 5 minutes of overtime. These teams are so close every single time they play.
Yeah, this one's so even this overtime now. There's going to be a save here from Justin within his own goal. The ball was halfway over the line, starting to begin to explode, but saved at the last second by Justin. He knew what he was doing. He was very comfortable. Squishy into the corner. And there's missed. Another huge clearance to send Turbo chasing. Turbo is having such a fun time in this overtime, I feel. He's really enjoying a free roll.
Yeah, I think Turbo has made sure that whenever he can get these shots off, he's at least challenging one of the keepers, which we have, told him off for before, where he's gone for a very safe shot for fear of just letting it roll in and going for, ultimately, a turbo shot. But Mist can have some excellence here. Justin to save the ball away. Over 6 minutes transpired. These two teams separated by a hair's width. And Garrett G, like Superman in front of the net.
Another tremendous save from NRG. How? Sorry, from Envy. No, from NRG on Envy, sorry. How are they keeping this ball out? And then NRG themselves shoot all the way over the top from their own half. trying to give themselves something to chase, hoping that the defense from Envy won't be quite as good. There's Turbo Pulsar. Justin off the backboard, and then Squishy's there to help out Justin as well. They are there for every second ball in their own half of NRG. Another save now. Well, there needs to be a third. Mist is winding up for one, but he's demoed out the way by Garrett. Brilliance from Garrett.
Lovely idea. Didn't have the boost to go for the shot, and so instead go for the man. Missed high. Atomic to drop it low. Turbo Pulsar to finish it, but Justin on that backboard is able to clear it away. Atomic with a harsh cut in. Can also squeeze it around Garrett G. Justin to clear it away from the net again. Shots racking up. Turbo Pulsar having 8 himself and 18 for Envy in total.
The pendulum has very much swung back towards Envy. They are looking in the ascendancy here, and NRG are hanging on, but one decent pass can cut through the Envy defense. It's all NRG need as long as they stay alive. On Halloween, how at? Squishy to the side. There's a demo. It's Turbo Pulsar on Squishy after making his pass. Garrett G's shot essentially goes to nothing. Now Mist and Atomic moving forward as a pair. That's risky because they've taken up so much space as the two of them. Turbo Pulsar is left all alone in defense, but his defending is good, and he sends it into the corner.
Atomic backwards over the top of Squishy and finds Justin to push up as that aggressive third man at that. With Squishy with 60 boost on this sidewalk, can see Garrett, but instead will be going solo up high to pinch low. Is Garrett there to shoot? He's there to get the pass. 8 minutes gone in this game. Both Mist and Turbo turning as if they are in tandem.
In tandem, but a little bit slow there in defense. Just meant that Justin could get a nibble on that ball as he was coming out. Now it's Justin again. Turbo Pulsar wants to get this one free and away. He's trying to stay behind it for a 50-50, but it's a clean win for Garrett, but pretty much no boost. And his starting position wasn't good enough to send that ball high either, so it's a bit of a roller. Atomic has a chance here. Oh, I wondered.
One,
if
two,
that could have been skimmed along and win in the end. A passing play, and Envy have it. 8 minutes 41, the overtime.
Atomic with that first touch up onto the back wall and then delicately back down to Mist. Sees two defenders, but is spying out the top third of the net. Envy leading this series 3-1. That is how close these teams can be. Over 8 minutes of OT in this game, 13 minutes in this series. It's almost impossible to pull them apart, and Justin is going for a card change after getting a 1,000-point game. The only player on this pitch to do so, and that includes Envy as well.
Yeah, Mist was 22 points away from a 1,000-point game of his own. Just to say how involved every single player was. There were a couple of decent goals in regulation, but it was all about this overtime. And all about that passing play as well. Mist and Atomic combining, the old Envy heroes. There they are when they are needed. And the shot was never going to be missed. It was just so accurate and powerful and exactly what Envy needed to finally break through NRG.
Something special is what they needed, and that is what they managed to do. So many passes, though, have gone awry in this game from both teams, where they'll send it down at a bit of a silly moment, or just straight up great defense will intercept the ball on its journey to exploding gloriously in the back of the net. That was such a great time to go for it, because it seemed very similar to the kind of goal that Squishy went for yesterday, and he went fully solo. And so for Atomic to receive it backboard, and then instead of tapping it towards the goal, tapping it midfield, almost shows you just how much these players almost repeat the same plays over and over again and just try out those different results. Astonishing pass for Atomic. Missed in a great position to do so. And Envy on series point to make it through to those grand finals.
Justin now in the NRG decal. If any car is going to mount a comeback, hopefully it's any team's decal. Always love when players use them, but they got some defending to do now. Justin uses that decal just to send the ball away as far as Turbo. NRG a little bit shaky on defense, but the three of them all involved with a first save or two. Here's Atomic, another flip reset. We haven't really seen any flip reset goals, but Envy have looked so dangerous with them.
And we've seen no flip reset goals, but we've seen Atomic secure 2 double flip resets. And every single one, I swear, is the scoopiest flip reset you'll ever see.
Yeah, that's dead on. His flip resets, they go very high. Probably less likely to score a goal themselves, but certainly more likely to get a backboard assist for his teammates. And no doubt his teammates are in tune with that and waiting for it. Well, here he is, Mist. Wants to get the ball over the top of the NRG defender, but it's good defending again. The sort of one-on-one defending has been pretty good throughout this series. No weak links in either ranks. Garrett
Cole,
booms.
we saw that there wasn't a timeout before this game, when a lot of teams may well have done that, especially with a great shot on us for Justin, though. Do you think that a timeout maybe should have come in here, or do you back NRG thinking, no, we still got time to call it because we win this game on Wasteland?
I think that they want to get on with it. You know, that is their way of resetting themselves, starting the next game. So normally when a team doesn't have a timeout, I would back them to have made that decision wisely. You know, it's easy to say retroactively, oh, they should have had a timeout. But from what I've seen so far, NRG are actually playing a better game this one. They're having more attempts on goal. They're more involved, more of the midfield. The boost starvation that's been happening by Envy on them isn't really occurring here. So, yeah, so far it looks like the right decision.
Turbo to receive the pass from Mist. Atomic unfortunately has to move back off that ball. The squishy challenges on the left wall with 100 boost as well. He takes to the skies and Mist slams him back down to earth.
And Mist tries to tee up Atomic, and the two of them together up against Garrett. Go on, Garrett, which player are you going to look at? Whoever you do. The other one will take the ball and get it towards Turbo Pulsar. It's a save at the near post by Justin, but there's a second touch there from Mist following up. And Squishy has to dribble that ball away. Does get the challenge into the center, and then Mist.
That's good.
Combines a pass to Turbo with a demo and takes away any spice from the NRG attack.
Adds the spice himself, though. That's such a nice play. That's just like, oh, cool, I also got the demo, or I also got the pass. Really well done. Over halfway in this game, it felt like we've been playing for about a minute so far, as these teams just frantically sending everything they can. If NRG lose this one, then there's still that question mark over whether they will be making it through to that major. Every single point matters, especially considering that FaZe are not here right now. That opens up the gates massively.
Yeah, with only 5 teams, it is so important that you take as many series wins as you can. And there's a couple of demos there from Mist. Oh, Atomic wasn't there to help out. Turbo Pulsar had put the ball down for him. Here he is now going for a double tap when both NRG players had respawned. And really, Envy going for these demos a lot. There's another one there for Atomic.
I mean, there's so much aggression coming in from both teams now too, but as both players on Envy commit to that ball, Squishy takes the weakest shot in existence and it's not able to find its way in. Only 90 seconds left. Justin with the flip reset, nearly fakes out the defender too. Garrett G moving up and Squishy sends it on target. Atomic with a lovely block away. 80 seconds now. And I'm loving how physical this game is getting, taking chunks out of each other.
I'm loving the defending there from Atomic, who managed to go up to the ceiling just to reset his flip and dribble away with the ball just to take all NRG players out of it and buy his team so much time. Here is Atomic there. That one goes just over that boost ball in the center, which Squishy will be able to get with his touch. So maybe a boost advantage for NRG, at least for a split second, but the ball does end up back in their corner. There's a missed demo there on Atomic. Manages to dodge one, then get half a touch on Squishy, and Squishy's actually missed the ball. Turbo Pulsar has been let in, gets a doink to himself, then the pass into the center. Atomic is there, maybe for the win, but there's a save from Garrett G. One more pass from Mist to Turbo Pulsar to the backboard again, and Squishy dribbles it. Maybe a chance for the counter. Saved at the near post, just in there, and into the top corner. It's the crossbar. Atomic will see this one away. No, he's run out of boost. Mist has to help him out. Turbo is finally there. Still 0-0, 20 seconds left.
Oh my gosh, heart attack for both teams as chances came flying in at every single angle. Only 15 seconds remaining as Atomic can't quite beat out Garrett G. Turbo Pulsar with the pass, but Atomic with no boost in the attack. Falls to Justin to go for one flip reset. Can't secure the second, so Justin falls over towards Garrett G. Squishy with 100 to the ceiling. Can't find a player though, and yet another overtime. If Envy win this one, say hello to your first grand finalists.
I think Squishy changed his mind right at the last second there, decided to go for the pass instead of the shot. But by then his car was in the wrong place. Anyway, the overtime begins with Justin going solo. This wasn't a long overtime, but it was a Justin overtime.
7 seconds is all it took. Justin getting one flip reset, brings it low, and outplays every single NB defender. Beautiful play from the man in the brand new car, and NRG bring the series to 2 games for them and 3 for Envy. Still right on the line.
Who else but Justin would you turn to when you are desperate for an overtime goal to keep you in the competition? He is just able, even if he's not having his best series ever, of conjuring up a goal out of absolutely nowhere. And right when it was looking like Envy were going to run away with things and take this one, there is that man, Justin, the clutch king for so many years. And what a goal it was as well. Look at that, the flip reset fake and then the speed to beat both Envy defenders. That is, to me, the goal of the series so far. And what a time to score it.
It was just so nice how he goes for the flip reset, and because every player's been like threatening that they're going to be scoring them, Atomic going for about a chain of 9 sometimes. Justin then bringing it low, as I said earlier, no egos. If you can score, you can score, and then absolutely sends it above mist. Gorgeous play from him. NRG with a vital second win. Envy, they need to shut it out here and now because NRG are another machine that's warming up.
I mean, that could be an important goal as well, because what Justin did there was he used Envy's own passive defense against them. This tactic they've been using when NRG have been going solo, just keeping 2 men back, waiting for them to offer the 50-50 and not accepting it. Justin used that space because they were both on their backboard or their back wall. So now they've really figured out a way to breach Envy. We might see some more similar goals.
Their safe space is now just not nearly as safe. Miss with no boost though, can't save that one away. Garrett over the 0 boost defender. Early doors for NRG, and Garrett is the one opening them.
Yeah, they've turned Envy's safe space into no man's land pretty much, that nobody should dare go and you can't let the ball drop into unless you're going to concede a goal. And that was the space that Garrett G just charged into right then to give NRG, an early lead in Game 6. Yes.
Have you seen the car that Garrett G has changed to and has immediately scored using?
Oh, it's not the decal, is it? It's not the decal, is it? Of
course it's the NRG decal. It's almost like wearing your decals. It makes you a better player. If anybody is not rocking any of these teams' decals when you're in ranked, do so. Use any of your favorite content creators' creator codes because they're going to respect you for it. You're going to play better. It's literally a win-win.
Yep, as we're seeing right now, 2 NRG players in it, and look how well they are doing. They're getting these clean touches now as well. It's suddenly looking like NRG are in control of this situation. And Envy are going to have to figure out another way. They are capable of going up another gear. They're not just a merchant of defensive players. So I'm hoping now that Envy are going to try and speed things up themselves to match NRG.
Good idea from Atomic to go for the pass on Mist there because the ball wasn't finding its way any further otherwise. It's just that Mist ended up landing just a touch too far in front of it. So Turbo Pulse removing Justin at the back line may all stop that issue from presenting itself again.
Turbo has a pass to the center, but it wasn't the right one that he chose. It's only as far as Garrett, who now follows this one up as well. Atomic is a little bit awkward at the near post. A defensive mistake, but good finishing from Garrett.
2 for NRG, 2 for Garrett G. What a nice touch over the top to just delay it as well. But Atomic definitely could have got that ball, and there was definitely the chance for him to, but it was the delayed touch from Garrett. Jumps early, ends up going high with it, doubling up on goals. Very well played.
Squishy, can he make it 3 for NRG early doors in this 6th game? He went for a huge swipe at Mist and just completely missed himself. But and then misses the ball as well. I don't know if that was a fake or I couldn't really see from my angle, but that looked like a chance to me.
Faked by Justin, who looked like he was going to be going in for the 50 and then turns away from it, and so Mist wanted the 50, prepared for that, and the ball just never ended up there because Justin faked it. That was a really nice, clever play.
That is so brave from Justin at a chance when, 1 goal against, you could completely swing the momentum to still have the composure to go for those fake challenges in defense. Huge play that was from Justin then. Envy still trying to get themselves back into this game. It's not really happening for them now because NRG have stepped up so well. Turbo's trying to get something going. Oh, wow. Turbo, I guess, according to the stats, does get something going.
What a gorgeous piece of tarmac that was. As the Turbo's removed from the pitch and Mist returns the favour and gets rid of Garrett G. The first goal in this game for Envy and halves the lead of NRG. We thought that the number was up and the time for NRG was starting. But Envy never down and out.
Suddenly as well, NRG won't feel quite so secure with the lead that they've managed to dig out for themselves. Justin sends it as long as he can, wants to just give his team a few seconds to relax after that goal's gone against them. He and Turbo are just saying hello, old teammates there, having a little cuddle in the middle of the pitch. Nothing wrong with that, but Justin's missed that one, though. There is something wrong with that. Turbo just goes for the snapshot to the backboard. Atomic's following up, and Atomic isn't going to miss. And Envy have turned it around.
Uh-oh, it's those defensive misplays again from NRG. They were plaguing them earlier on in the series, and Justin to start it off. Squishy with a miss, and in the end, Atomic can shoot it high again. They're now level, and that is Envy with 2 goals in a row. That is a dangerous place to find yourselves, NRG. You need this game, or you're out.
That's why they're the machine, Stumpy. You can't count them out, but wait a minute. Garrett G has just completely flummoxed them with that early read.
It was not a great touch from Mist. Finds that left wall, but Garrett G was clearly on his way there. Shutting down those angles, though, is what Garrett G has done incredibly well in this series. His 3rd goal, that's a hat-trick. It looks right now like it's Envy versus Garrett.
Yeah, the hat-trick for Garrett G after Justin was the match winner last game. The old boys of NRG stepping up in consecutive games right now. They needed that one. Justin goes for a flip reset, but Atomic doesn't let him do anything with it. Now Squishy to the ceiling. Wants to follow it up himself, but no can do with Turbo Pulsar on the prowl, still searching for those beats. Atomic's going to beat Garrett G here again, but there's no one for Envy. Turbo and Mist were all the way back there.
Just a very Turbo aerial, to be honest. I don't really want to hang on that for too long. It hit the ceiling, but come on, mate, you're a pro. 80 seconds left as Garrett G attempting to find that 4th goal. Missed with one of the bravest pre-jumps I think I've ever seen.
There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I'm not sure which one.
Oh, was he nearly bumped?
Maybe.
I think it was threatened with the bump by Squishy, so he had to jump, but because Garrett had already taken the shot, he had to just use that hang time.
Then I rescind my comment. Fair enough. Good effort. But also a very good finish there from Garrett G for his 4th goal of this game. Well and truly getting involved. Now he goes for a glide towards the ball and is beaten by Mist because of it. And Garrett G eventually does manage to rally round. Suddenly NRG have a 2-goal cushion yet again and may be sending us into Game 7.
Turbo Pulse with a chance to go up against Justin. Wants to bring this level. Hits the post, and Garrett trying to go for an in-and-out save. Squishy can punt it to the ceiling. 45 seconds remaining, but with low boost, not much can happen for the NRG push. Atomic is up, finds Mist, finds the backboard, up for the double, with Turbo attempting to go for it as well, though. NRG need to start the stampede into the blue half.
That's the second time we've seen that from Mist. 1 touch too many when his teammate was coming in. Needs to know when to leave the ball alone because NRG now have control of it. Envy have nothing really going for them in this game. 2 goals down and can't break free from their own half. If they're to have any chance of preventing a trip to Champions Field, they have to do something immediately, and it just doesn't look like it's happening. And look at that from Garrett G. What a game this has been from Garrett. Envy must be so frustrated. If it's saved, that's game. And it is saved. We're going to Game 7, Stumpy.
An MVP performance from Garrett G. 4 goals to his name, 4 goals for NRG. And in that decal, you can't argue with it whatsoever. Champions Field is on the way. And what a time that was for Garrett G to really show up.
Yeah, I mean, that was... It was a really good game of Rocket League, that, because first it was NRG's. You know, they were completely on top. They had everything going for them, the 2-goal lead. And then one demo completely and utterly changed that. Suddenly, Envy, they believe that they're going to win this game. They're completely on top of NRG. And then NRG wrestled it back. Just a beautiful flow to it. Credit to both teams for taking the initiative when it came, but mainly credit to Garrett G. That man was just the difference between both teams on that occasion. It was a flawless performance from him. 649 points, but to be honest, if that was a 1,000-point game, I wouldn't be too surprised with the amount of influence he had all over the pitch in that game right there. It was just brilliant. Brilliance all around.
Yeah, something that Garrett G is going to need to really bring on to this next game, because you will not see that very often at all. And Champions Field is a place where these guys know what is happening. Turbo Pulsar has been here countless number of times before. Garrett G has won a world championship alongside him as well. And it's where Envy versus NRG is going to come down to the wire. Game 7 is presented by Verizon, and I am so incredibly excited to be here seeing Envy versus NRG to bring us through into those grand finals.
Game 7 seemed a very long way away at one point in this series, but somehow NRG have managed to find their way here. And we get things going. It doesn't get any better than this. Let's have it, Stumpy.
It's going to be an early shot from Garrett G as well. And honestly, if he can continue that performance from last game, that was one of the best performances we have seen out of any player so far in this entire event.
It'd be a good end-of-season award, the best individual game from any player. If it did exist, Garrett G would be my tip for it as well. But we go to Game 7, as we mentioned, and everything that happened before doesn't matter. All that matters is what happens now. And Justin, another brilliant save from him. Miscaught that one with some power. Surely Justin's not going to go down the other end and score. Not quite, but defensively, Justin has been brilliant this series.
A mind-bendingly good save as just time and space bends around him. I have no idea how that ball managed to rubber band its way out, but here we are. With a minute gone, magic has already commenced. Turbo Pulsar in for the shot and joined by Atomic, who can slice the goal in half.
How on earth does he hit that angle? Let's see. Turbo Pulsar goes for the ceiling play. Everyone kind of ignores him, and then suddenly there's Atomic with a minus 15.8 degree finish early on in Game 7. What a goal!
Mind blown, all the eggs cracked in the stands, and Atomic is joining them with the most cracked goal we've seen. A minute has gone. If that's the start of this game, then Game 7 is going to be something special, and obviously a very long overtime to match the rest of the series.
Yes, please, that'll do very nicely. But first, NRG have to get themselves back in it, and this isn't looking too hot for them until that challenge from Squishy leaves in the ball as well. He's got the edgeables on. Mist defends it. Garrett G and Justin want that one. Maybe NRG getting a little bit frantic here. We haven't seen double commits like that from NRG. Even when they've been struggling to break through Envy, they have shown discipline and attack. That wasn't a good sign.
Yeah, it was a little bit hurried and a little bit frantic of them to go for it, but Atomic attempting to get that second goal. Another brilliant save from Justin, and awkward touches abound for everybody in that back third. Justin, with a little bit of space, finds that right wall. Has switched decals now, though. Not saying that I'd necessarily recommend. But Garrett G staying true to NRG with his Squishy. The only man back, can't get a touch on the ball. That rolled very slowly towards that blue net, but just with one flip reset. And maybe the second, but gets punted back to earth.
Yeah, Justin is, in my opinion, keeping NRG in this game and in this series. The saves that he's making and the plays that he's hinting at, just keeping Envy on their toes. But there's a great passing play involving Justin's two teammates. It's Squishy and Garrett, and it's 1-1.
Turbo, despite the fact he grabbed all that boost, only used it to help out Squishy to Garrett to top corner. 1-1.
This is getting exciting. Overtime is just beginning to wave at us from the horizon. It's what we all want, but we want some goals between now and then as well. Let's see if Envy can make one. Not here. Here is Squishy. Puts that one into the corner. Atomic's there. On the wall he goes. Squishy with a touch to the ceiling. Garrett G just shoots, and here's Atomic to put it central.
With Mist onto that left wall, not much of a plan other than that as Garrett finds Squishy, finds the back of the net with a runaway goal. NRG looking favourites.
There they have it. Garrett G puts the pass into the centre and Squishy just rolls it home. How rarely will you see a goal like that against Envy? For once they let their guard down and NRG say thank you very much.
Usually such a clean rotation on the backside for Envy, but letting it go and Squishy to take full advantage of that. We've got under half of the game remaining. Squishy is trying to show that he is able to hang with the big dogs in this matchup.
The first time NRG are taking the series as it stands right now, but Envy have time on their side. Here comes Mist. Tries to get it past Squishy and Justin. It's Squishy that gets the save. Atomic's still on the backboard. Wants to put this one away, but Justin gets away with it.
Big on runaway chance now for Justin. Finds that corner with Turbo Pulsar sending it long. Squishy, he knows better than to allow a runaway goal to find its way in as Turbo Pulsar on that opposite back right corner. Atomic has to miss that ball with Mist burning boost by the second. It's going to be a little bit slower to that chance than Garrett G. NRG pushing up. Garrett G saved away by Atomic.
Somehow Atomic got the read there. Garrett G came out of nowhere as far as I was concerned, so I'm glad that Atomic got the read. Now he's got the next touch as well into the corner. Mist is there, wants to just place it over Squishy. Trying to shoot a three-pointer. Squishy just about got the block on him. And Envy gonna have to go again. They've still got 2 men back in defense. They're not trying to rush things, but Turbopulsar is really struggling on this near post. Finally, Envy clear.
Chance for Garrett to go high. Justin versus Turbo. Turbo looking so out of place on that back line, but it's still only a goal separating them. NRG turning the screw, making this a near impossible task to work their way out of the blue half. But Envy, you know they can do it.
Here's Atomic as Turbopulsar in the middle, but Squishy's clearance takes it over the top of Turbo. As far as Justin, does he have anything special in his locker? Not quite there. It was going for the bump on Mist, but Mist managed to dodge it. Turbopulsar here. There's a demo. It's Garrett G on Mist. Where's that challenge going? Not in the back of the net.
Just approaching, 30 seconds remaining as Squishy dunks on Turbopulsar and can push up. This is where NRG are going to need to stay firm if they want to be grand finalists and have a chance today of securing their spot in the major.
This could be the chance. Mist is coming in. Turbopulsar and him almost cause a disastrous own goal, but Envy will get one more chance. Here's Mist. Takes a couple of touches, then into the center via Garrett G. Turbopulsar has to beat Justin and does. And Atomic is completely isolated. Garrett G kills the ball, kills the game, and kills Envy's hopes in this regional. NRG are your first grand finalists.